at the ticket counter, the clerk looked at my passport and said, "Kobi, huh? You know what that means in Bahamian slang, don't you?" And I said, "No." And she said, "Yeah, it means the Kobis are the bad people." So put that in the back of my mind, boarded the plane, didn't think much of it, got a window seat, thank you. But, so you've heard my name, and it's actually integral to this story. You don't have to remember it because it's part of the story to be reminded of it at the end. But what's in a name? Shakespeare thought he was onto something when he fed Juliet the lines, "Rose by any other name should smell as sweet." But this is supposed to be a travel story. So it starts out by not knowing what my life's path was going to be. How many people grew up knowing exactly what they were going to do with their lives, career-wise, or what they wanted to achieve?
Accurately or inaccurately?
Oh, well, either way, you could have changed your mind.
I thought I knew.
Yeah. I had no idea. And I had graduated college, and I'd been accepted to medical school, but I got cold feet. And so I wrote to the med school and asked them for a year off. And so did another person I found out later, once I showed up a year later at school. He wasn't allowed to return because he had expressed his doubts about med school. But I was a little more wily than that. I couched it in terms of, well, I'm going to be a slave to this for, I didn't use these words, for many years. So this is my last chance to see the world, climb the Andes, do things like that. I still remember my turn of phrase because I liked it, if no one else did. I wanted to do things that were predicated upon the vigor and strength of youth. So what that meant was a bunch of harebrained plans that year. One of them, there was producing a record album, finding blue spruce trees in Minnesota, which were really green, but we tried to hawk them in Missouri as blue spruce because those had a premium. But the one I want to tell you about took me and my same partner in crime to the Bahamas, where he had this connection with a native, inbred native it seemed, who was an expert in lobster fishing, spear fishing for lobster. And he had put out traps all over the nearby ocean. And we would go out daily in his skiff, armed with, can you see me armed with a spear gun? Well, it's true. I never really got to practice much my aim because there were hardly any lobsters to be found. And we did this day after day. We were having fun otherwise. There weren't too many fish, but I got to snorkel a lot and not catch. I think I caught 2 really baby lobsters. We finally decided, okay, we've had enough of this beach vacation and decided to leave. We each took separate planes to our separate destinations. And I remember at the ticket counter, the clerk looked at my passport and said, "Kobi, huh? You know what that means in Bahamian slang, don't you?" And I said, "No." And she said, "Yeah, it means the Kobis are the bad people." So put that in the back of my mind, boarded the plane, didn't think much of it, got a window seat, thank you. But they might have all been, because this was a tiny, like 2-prop plane. And I was looking out the window, the plane was flying really low. The water was, it's beautiful aquamarine as always, but it was glassy calm. I mean, it was like a sheet of glass, not a wave. The whole time we couldn't catch any lobsters because the sea was the ocean was so choppy. And this time it was so glassy calm. And I thought that with a little bit lower altitude, I could even have seen those laughing lobsters mocking me. So, I don't know, I think Shakespeare may have gotten it wrong. What is in a name?
Yay!